Hello, good morning. It's January the 11th and 2 days ago Hands Across the Sea samplers released this very sweet Australian sampler, Jane Marshall 1857. And we released Jane Marshall as a fundraiser for Australia. We have chosen 2 brigades of the New South Wales Rural Fire Services to be the recipients of your donations, and the money is being split equally between Katoomba Lura and Wentworth Falls brigades. We chose those brigades because Hands Across the Sea Samplers has a personal collection. Sandra, who reproduces samplers with me, her husband Bob has been a long-standing member of Katoomba Lura, and Suzanne, who was our first model stitcher, and her husband Tim, who is our photographer in Australia, are both long-term members of Wentworth Falls. We know that both of those brigades need to replace damaged and lost equipment to carry on fighting these fires. The government supplies their basic needs, but the brigades have to fund through fundraising activities any additional purchases. And I'm going to lose my place here now. Where was I? Oh yes, the other thing that's really nice for us, choosing a charity, or not a charity, choosing a cause that we have a connection with, is that we actually get to see how this money is being spent, and we will share that with you. Now, if you want to contribute, Jane Marshall's PDF download is available for 3 months on the Hands Across the Sea Samplers website. If you go to our website and you go to our online store, into reproduction samplers, Jane's sampler is the first one that you come to. Her download is £10 English. We use PayPal to handle payments on our website, but you don't need to have a PayPal account to check out through PayPal using your credit card. Once you have purchased Jane, you will now receive an immediate email back with a download link to download and print off the chart. Initially, we didn't expect to sell so many, so I was actually dealing with orders by a manual process, sending emails. But from about midday yesterday, my wonderful IT guy came to the rescue and did some reprogramming on my website. So if you bought from yesterday afternoon onwards, you immediately got a automatic response with a download. Now, when you download Jane's PDF, you will receive a copy of the booklet and a little bit of information. You will receive a thread legend, and it gives you the numbers for the Overa Soir Safine and the Overa Soir d'Alger and DMC. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 colours. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 11 colours. And there is also linen sizes given. And if you stitch her on 28 count, she's only going to be 6.71 inches by 10.29. If you stitch her on 53/63 count, which I did, she's going to be the size of your hand. If you stitch her on 56 count, she's going to be 3.36 inches by 5.14. If you stitch her on 32 count, she's going to be 5.88 inches by 9 inches. Whatever you stitch her on, she's going to be very, very small. And she can be stitched on linen or Aida. And I must mention at this point that the linen which is 53-63 count sycamore sea pod that I stitched the model on, and the soie sateen threads were all donated by Access Commodities, who are the worldwide distributor for Overa soie silks. So thank you, Access Commodities. The frame was donated by Sully's Framers in Penryn, Falmouth, who frame all of Hands Across the Sea Samplers models. Pete, the owner there, he's a fantastic guy. When I went in and told him what the sampler was for, I didn't have to ask him would he donate. He volunteered to donate. His daughter lives in Australia, so he is aware of the suffering that is going on in the country, and his nephew is a firefighter in New York, so he knows what the firefighters do. So I'm digressing now. Let's go back to the chart. The chart, or the sampler, is stitched entirely in cross stitch over 2 threads, so it doesn't matter what level needleworker you are, or whether you've never stitched a sampler before. This is an ideal one to have a go if you've never stitched. Cross stitch over 2 is the stitch that we all start with, and you'll be surprised you can do it. I know that one lady emailed me to say that she's going to use Jane to teach her granddaughter how to stitch. You will also receive a 4-page colour graph of Jane's chart. I must stop saying chart. PDF is 4 pages. And what we've tried to do is keep it in the hat style, even though we don't normally do downloads, and you've got some really nice quotes at the bottom of each page. And you will also receive a 4-page black and white PDF graph as well, so that I thought that maybe not everybody had a colour printer. So this is what you will get for your £10 donation, and in return we will send to these 2 fire brigades 50-50 all the proceeds we receive from PayPal. And just before I started to film this video, I had a quick little look, and the amount that we have in our PayPal account to send these 2 brigades split equally between them is £11,862.48. All of that money is going to go to the 2 brigades, and I know that whilst I have been talking, any pings that you have heard are actually more donations coming in. Honestly, needleworkers always amaze me. We really are hands across the seas, coming together to make a difference. I've always believed that we is a far greater word than me. Together, all our £10 can make a big difference. Now, ours is not the only chart that's being made available to raise money for Australia. I know that Linen and Threads have published the sweetest of designs. It's an adorable little koala bear. I've personally given to this charity because I love animals, and it breaks my heart seeing the pictures of these animals suffering. It breaks my heart seeing pictures of all the suffering, including people losing their homes, firefighters being injured, but the little animals are important to me. And I know that Linen and Threads have issued this sweet little design, and I know that there's another company, and I want to get this right. Just one moment. Let's have a look. the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery have also issued a design where the money is going to benefit Australia. So ours isn't the only one. There are lots there. So, you know, it's good to spread things around. And this is one of the reasons why we thought we would ask just £10. If you want to donate more than £10, and many people have, all you need to do is pop more than one copy of Jane into your basket, and that's your way if you want to donate more. What else can I say? Initially, we had planned to release a different sampler in a booklet form and donate part of the proceeds to Australia. But obviously when we put together a booklet, we have printing costs and we have postage costs. And a little while ago, and going back to that particular sampler, Suzanne has been very busy stitching that sampler. But a little while ago, Sandra and I were talking, and it dawned on us that Jane was the ideal sampler to release, a little Australian sampler being used to benefit Australia. And let me tell you about Jane. It's really strange. I always say that samplers come into your life for a reason. They find you. Now, Sandra's husband Bob has been fighting these fires for a long time. These fires have been burning for a very long time, and probably back to maybe August, September. And Sandra has been spending a lot of time by herself. So we've actually got into the habit of both of us using Facebook Messenger to use the video facility, and we both sit and we stitch and we chat just as if we were together in the same room. So when Bob is on firefighting duty, I always make a point of spending an hour or so with Sandra, keeping her company. And the one night in December, we were both stitching. It was morning with Sandra, night with me, and we decided that we were going to try and find an Australian sampler, and we've been looking for a while, but we decided we were really going to focus on finding an Australian sampler. And as we were talking, Sandra was looking, and she said, "Oh, look at this one." And she showed us. I said, "That's really lovely, let's get it." So we bought it straight away. Now, we thought that the sampler that we saw online was going to be this big, and within about 2 or 3 days, a little package was delivered to Sandra, and when she got me on audio, we laughed and laughed and laughed, because this big sampler turned out only to be this size. Anyway, when Sandra opened the package, we oohed and ahed, and Sandra got charting, I think probably that same day. And I said that I would stitch her as soon as I can, and she came on holiday with me, and I stitched her on the plane flying to the States, and I think within 2 or 3 days I'd stitched her. Oh, I did stitch the outline before I got on the plane. Anyway, we believe that this little girl, Jane Marshall, comes from an area that when she was baptised was known as Cooks VC. But Sandra and I have done some research, and we think Cooks VC is now the Shoalhaven area in New South Wales that's just below Sydney on the map. And this is an area that has been affected by the fires. So I'm sure that Jane would be very happy that her sampler is being used to do some good. So it all sort of clicked together. So anyway, the other wonderful thing is that the Attic Needleworks and Traditional Stitches have agreed that the kits they're selling to stitch Jane, they're going to donate part of the proceeds, and I know that there are other stores that are putting together things too, so check with your store to see if they are going to donate part of the sale proceeds for the kits to charities as well. Many stores have purchased copies of Jane, and a lot of designers have purchase copies as well. It's wonderful to see how in the industry we all come together to support each other. Anyway, I'm beginning to waffle now, so I'm going to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who have bought a copy of the PDF. This money is going to be put to good use, and I'm going to make the first bank transfer this week. I'm just waiting on some additional information that we need because it's an international bank transfer, but as soon as that arrives, both the brigades will be receiving half each of all the money we received to date, and they will continue to receive the money we raise in the next 3 months. So thank you, and bye-bye.